Hello and welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you're Marcus Saint.
The one and only.
Yeah, Marcus Saint. That's a unique name. Can I say your full name?
Yeah.
Okay, Marcus Anthony Saint.
Yeah.
It's a unique name. Where does it come from?
My mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think low-key I was kind of named after Mark Anthony, but I mean, she's never said that, so I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just, I mean, putting the two and two together.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very musically inclined.
Yeah.
Is anyone else in your family musically inclined like you?
Actually, my whole family is all musically inclined. My cousin did Joyride for Mariah Carey when he was like 13, so that was like kind of one of like my earliest memories. Is just like already
Yeah.
experiencing that whole entire thing. And I mean the rest of my family, like everyone plays some type of instrument or like my closest cousin was a really big producer as well before he passed, and so like everyone is like really big. Black church, so everyone
Yeah.
plays something.
Yeah. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in DC, well, DC area,
Yeah.
but DC.
I see. And how long have you lived in DC for?
My entire life.
I see. Until now.
Until now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when did music become an important part of your life? And we'll start there.
I think it's one of those things where it's like when God has an anointing on your life, it's pretty much like that's all that there is. I don't remember a time where there wasn't music. Like even as a kid, like I remember always being obsessed with it, or trying to write my own songs, or just like seeing what like the older cousins and like my family were doing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. What kind of music did you hear when you were growing up? I know you said you were named after Mark Anthony, who Puerto Rican, right? No.
I guess I don't know.
I'm sorry, but
yeah.
anyways, you yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like I grew up on like gospel, so like traditional, just like black church gospel. That was pretty much all that I really listened to growing up. I mean, like your regular R&B records. Like my first CD that I ever got was Usher's Confessions, and then Sierra's Goodies, and then Black Eyed Peas, the Monkey Business album.
Yes.
So even when it wasn't like gospel, it was still very R&B, hip hop adjacent.
I see.
Those are all things I grew up on.
I see. So how did you know that music was something that you wanted to do with your life?
I don't think I ever thought of doing anything else. I think that's just like all that was really around me,
Yeah.
and all that I wanted to do. There was periods of times where I thought that I wanted to do something else, like be a teacher. Like I have a degree in English, but I just keep going back to music, and I feel like when you keep going back to something, it's meant to be.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's a calling. Like you feel like that's your purpose.
Yeah, I definitely think that. I think that many are called but few are chosen, and I think it's one of those things where, again, like when you have an anointing on your life like that, and when God really set something down for you to do, like I don't think that there's any, like you can't run away from that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I want to talk a little bit more about the music that you make. What style of music would you say you write?
I would say pop music. That's like a short answer.
Mm-hmm. Who are your biggest inspirations?
Esther Dean, The Song Machine, the best songwriter in the entire world. Lately, I don't know, that answer always throws me off, or that question always throws me off, because I don't know. I think I'm inspired by everything. I think lately I've been inspired by more like decades than like specific artists. So right now I've been inspired really by like 90s house and like 90s like EDM and like electronic music. So like early Daft Punk, things like that, like early or like early Peaches. So
Yeah, I agree. For me as well, I would say that's kind of how it is, right? You go through, I don't want to say phases, it's not a phase, Mom, but you go through phases of sort of different music that you want to listen to. At least I do, different genres, things like that. And it's hard to be attached to one thing because there's so much out there.
There's so much, it's a crazy amount.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But primarily you do pop.
Yeah, I would say pop.
I see. To more properly introduce you and who you are and what you do, you are a singer-songwriter,
Yeah.
correct? Do you have any interest in performing or doing live music, or do you like being sort of on the back end writing music?
I like being on stage. I like performing and everything too. I love being with people. I love showcasing my art. I have more fun behind the scenes just because I can like be somebody else. But I'm not against it.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. I definitely want to do it more.
Yeah. Yeah, I see. What type of artists have you worked with?
Like genre wise or
Yeah.
yeah,
we'll say genre.
pretty much every genre. I've done R&B, lots of pop,
Mhm.
lots of trap music,
Yeah.
hip hop. Still good. It's just didn't have good experiences. Pretty much everything except for like rock and country. Those are the two that I really want to get into that I
Yep.
just haven't done anything with. But I guess sort of rock from the band. But I mean that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Country. I'm curious about that. Because, well, I'm
Yeah.
assuming you're taking inspiration from the one and only Cowboy Carter.
Yeah. I mean, like, but I like country music before that though too.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What kind of country music did you listen to?
I mean, nothing like insane. Like I wasn't listening to like every country artist ever, but like I really did like Zac Brown band like when they were like around. I liked, I mean, obviously like Dolly and like Billy Ray, like
Yeah.
the like famous ones, but I mean that's really it. I don't think I like Jason Aldean. I think was like pretty big for a while too. But it was never anything that I really like dived super deep into.
Yeah.
For lots of reasons, but it is something that I'm interested in and would like to somewhat get into. I think it would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. You have, because I see a lot of people will say, oh, I listen to everything but this country, whatever, they don't listen to.
I think the thing with country music is like the relatability. So obviously like me being from the major city, like I know that was my thing was I can't relate to a lot of what country music where people were talking about, and I couldn't get past the accents and the dialect.
Yeah.
And I think it's a similar thing when you have the conversation about hip hop with artists who aren't American, like why a lot of UK rappers really don't do well out here because we just can't get past the accent. And like every now and then someone will break through like Central C and like MIA, but I think it's the same with country music.
Do you think that's like a content as well? Like the content that they're singing about might not appeal to
Yeah,
that demographic?
I think so too. I mean, like, I can't relate to it's talking about a tractor and like your fourth wife and whatever else. But I mean, I don't think
Catching
that's
a fish.
yeah, catching a fish. Like that's
Drinking
not
your
anything I
beer.
ever did. Yeah,
Driving your truck?
right. But I mean, like, likewise though. I mean, I guess right? Because like driving a car, I don't drive.
Yeah.
I don't drive.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I don't know.
Yeah. It's good to be aware of everything.
Yeah, I think it's good to be aware. But I mean, I guess you could also argue with like the same. I mean, we can listen to like trap rappers rap all day about gang banging and doing whatever, but like we're not doing that either. But it still goes hard. So like, I don't know.
It does go hard.
But
Yeah. Have any other creative avenues that you're exploring or that you're interested in?
I eventually want to get into directing music videos. That's been something that's really been on my mind for years. That's it. I think like aside from music, I'm more like behind the camera. I think would be cool, but as of right now, no. I do want to get into like modeling and like acting and like all the other kinds of stuff too, fashion. But I mean,
Of course.
yeah.
Yes, we all do.
Naturally. but-
Yes. As far as music video directing goes,
Mhm.
you want to direct other people's music videos or direct your own?
I want to do other people's videos. I mean, of course, like my own too, but I kind of want to do like what like Missy Elliott did, where she had her own albums and she did her own music, but she was also writing for everybody else too. She was also filming everyone else's music videos, and really taking the artistic direction a lot further than just like what you hear, and like exploring all the other elements as well. And I think that would be really cool for me to do too. Because I think it's one thing to hear something, but I think it's another thing to actually like see it and watch it. And
Yeah, you know, that's funny you say that, because I've had some experience with that, with almost liking a song more after I see the music video.
It's also art.
Yeah, it adds another layer to it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's like really important. And I think understanding where people come from with their art and why they're maybe doing the things they are is very important. Like when I was in Puerto Rico, hearing Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico on the streets versus hearing Bad Bunny through my headphones when I'm at the gym, completely different experience.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that music videos add that extra layer, and I love music videos. I think they've definitely made a comeback, and it's a really wonderful visual media of art. So yeah.
I agree. I was actually thinking the opposite though. I kind of don't feel like videos are where they were.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't know. I think that's kind of like why I want to get into them too.
How so?
But like which part? Like why they're not like as,
why are they not?
I don't think people are creative. I don't think anyone wants to take risk. I think that with everything though. I don't think anyone's risking anything with music. I don't think anyone's risking anything with fashion. I don't think that there's risk with videos. I think that there are artists who are doing it, but I think as far as like on a major like scale though, I don't think labels want to invest in anything.
Yeah.
So
stick with what sells.
With what works, and yeah. But I mean, and that's a whole bigger conversation with
of course
everything. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's neat. Let's talk about your music now.
Yeah.
So, the artists that you've worked with. What is your favorite thing to write about? If you had to choose like a subject or a topic, what is your favorite thing to write about that someone's brought to you, or that you've come up with for someone else?
That's a really good question. I don't know. I like writing everything. I think doing like confidence songs are really fun for people, especially when I can tell someone is not insecure, but just not like 100% into themselves, or like finding a new like leaf. I think that's always really cool. Just because we get to kind of like play around and like get into their inner psyche, I think is really cool. But that's probably my favorite thing to write about.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Do you do remixes?
Yeah.
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 What
I'm
are
always doing stuff.
What are some of the remixes you've done?
Recently I just did a verse to Tyler Chanel that I put on my socials, but
I see.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna pretend I know what that is.
Yeah. it's a new song from Tyler. It's pretty popular right now.
But you did. I'm not sure if I can say this on camera, but you did or are working on a Madonna remix.
Yeah, I did a cover of Madonna's "Frozen," which is really cool. That's very out and about.
Yeah, of course.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I remember that one. That was pretty neat.
Yeah.
So you like doing remixes or things like that?
Yeah, with some things. I think that one was really cool just because I think Ray of Light is one of the like best projects musically ever, and was very inspiring to me on a musical level.
Yeah.
And just like the artistic direction that she went in, and with like William Orbit and everything too. I think it was just no notes. I mean, it's fantastic. So that was really, really cool. Just like really diving into it, and I didn't want to just do like a regular cover. I wanted to reproduce it and really understand like the musical aside from that, and get into everything. But yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of understanding music, are you classically trained? Do you play any instruments or?
I play piano. I play saxophone. Well, I can play saxophone, violin, guitar. The only thing that I play is piano, but I've never been taught or anything. I taught myself.
Yeah. Do you read music?
No. Yeah. I can read basic notes. I have to really think about it and like remember what I learned in like seventh grade or something.
Yeah.
But no, like I can't read sheet music. By the time that I even figured out what note is what, like we're already on the next page. We're already doing something else. So it's just easier for me not to read. And when I was in school, because I was in like band in like middle school and everything, and it was just so much easier for me just to play by ear than to try to read it and figure it out. But it got me in a lot of trouble because if I didn't practice a song or didn't know it, like I wouldn't know where we were. I'd have to sit there and like quickly figure it out, which I always was able to, but you know, not ideal.
Mm-hmm. What types of programs do you use to like write your music? Because I know you obviously probably record piano, record guitar, things like that. But what sort of DAWs or
Oh
different
yeah,
things do you
I
use?
use Logic Pro. I don't like any of the other systems. I try to learn everything, Pro Tools and everywhere else. The funny thing about me though is that like everyone that I work with that's like in a professional environment, they always get on me. One, because I can't read sheet music, and two, if you ever watch me play the piano, I don't play the piano properly.
Yeah.
My fingering is not the correct way. I very much play like that, but you would never be able to tell just from listening. But if you watched, you would be like, okay, like he doesn't know what he's doing. And then same thing with like DAWs. Like I mix and master all my stuff in Logic, which people are now more privy to Logic. But before it was like, if you're not using like Ableton or like Pro Tools, like what's wrong with you? And I'm just like, I can't get into it. I really don't like it. But I don't know. I'm a firm believer. If it works for you, it works. So.
I mean, I can't say anything. I use Reaper.
Yeah. Which I mean, if it works, it works.
It does. Yeah. I love it. I that's actually what they had us use in school when I was doing that stuff. And it works great. I mean, I love it. I honestly do like pretty basic recording stuff. I don't do anything crazy, but
yeah. I mean, I think as long as you can load in like whatever like plugins and stuff into it, you're good. You don't need like a $900 software.
No, most of the plugins I use are pretty basic: compressor, reverb, EQ, the basic stuff. Especially for when you're recording like instruments. Anything beyond that, if I'm doing MIDI or whatever, just use a MIDI keyboard.
Yeah. Even then, they have stuff like BandLab, which is really, really good. There's so many different options out there. And then Apple just did the Creator Studio now, so you can get like Logic and everything else for like $12. So
I might have to look into that.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll look into that.
Yeah.
So I want to take some time and I want to talk about your process of writing music. So walk me through how you write a song. Do you have some sort of generic process that you follow? What do you start with?
So my process actually changed recently. It used to be I just jump in the booth and then just like I'll do a top line first, which is basically like you're just doing the mumble, so I'm just getting like an idea for what I want to do. So it'd be like, and then I would go in and then I would see like what feels good, and then I would write to like those parts individually. I wouldn't write anything down. I would just like keep like retaking and just like freestyle everything, and then like lines that I really, really thought were good, I would type up on my computer. But I would say about last year, I met my friend Terrell, who's like now my best friend, and he taught me he really put a big emphasis on writing down in like a notebook, which I've like never done. I did as like a kid when I first started, but like I felt like it slowed me down. But since I started doing that, my process has changed. So now, one, I'm taking a lot more time and being more intentional with everything, and I can actually see the process of like what I did. So like I see that I have 3 different versions of the song. But basically, long story short, what I do now though is I'm more intentional with what I do. So I'm actually sitting down on very specific parts of the song and still laying a top line down, but I'm more so writing it down in my notebook and getting an idea of like where I want to take the song. So if I wanted to talk about like, I don't know, this interview, like I want to make sure that I'm very intentional with my storytelling and keeping on track with that, and not just putting in like dope like bars about like how much money I have or like what car I'm driving. Well, not driving, but I don't know, stuff like that. Yeah. So, yeah. And then it'll take me like 4 or 5 versions of the song before I'm like, okay, this is it.
Yeah. So the songwriting process is actually very long for you.
Not all the time. It can be.
Yeah.
Some songs I write in like 10 minutes. Some songs I take a whole month. One song I started last year that I'm still not done with it. It just depends.
Yeah. So it can be as simple as like picking up the groceries, or it can be as difficult as doing work on the house. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. I don't like to force anything. I don't like to force art. I think that the song will definitely speak to you when it's ready to be done, and when it's not ready, it won't be ready.
I see. So a very organic process.
Very organic. It also depends on like what I'm doing too. So like if I'm writing for like a person, then like it might be a little different. I might pump it out a little faster, and force myself to like finish it. But if I'm just writing for me, I'm just chilling.
Yeah. When there's a little bit of fire behind it, right?
Yeah, I mean, but it's like I'm not even doing it for the money though. It has nothing to do with that. It's like deadline. So if someone wants me to write for like their project, but they need it done, their album's due like next month, and like okay, like I'm not getting off this computer until I at least get you like 90% of the work done, and then I can send you what I have, or we can sit down in the studio and write it together, whatever the case is. But I don't think that I overthink it as much when I'm writing with someone or for somebody. I can just kind of do it, but yeah.
Is that because you feel that when you write songs for yourself, it's more personal?
I think so, but not even that, because when I write for other people, I'm still pulling from personal experiences. I think that writing for other people, I don't have to face how I feel first to get my ideas out, where with other people, I'm kind of get to play like therapist and already like know what you're feeling, so I get to face your emotions for you. With me, it's like, okay, like dang, like I don't even want to think about this yet. But that's it's not always like that dark too though. Sometimes it's like I just don't feel like this is something that I would say, like that's not something that I talk about in real life, so why would I talk about it on a song, like for my own music, you know what I mean?
Has any of your music that you've written been featured in any TV, movies, or any sort of media?
Yeah, I have 2 tracks that are on, one's on The Shy, which is on Showtime and Paramount, I think. And then the other one is also on a Paramount film, but I'm not sure which one.
Yeah. Is there a song that you wrote for someone else that you wish you kept for yourself?
I used to feel like there were songs that I wish I would have kept for myself. I don't feel like that anymore. I think that everything goes to the right person at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So, no.
So when working with other artists, when collaborating with artists, what is some of the most challenging things you've experienced?
People not actually in it for the art, and it shows. And it's like, what am I doing here in the first place for? I think that is a big challenge. I think that is the only thing that I would consider a challenge. I think everything else is like, whatever, cool. Like it just adds more to it. Like if there's like a deadline that we really have to push for, or I've even worked with like some people where like we don't own the beat anymore, so now we have to reproduce like everything or whatever the case is. But I think that when someone is just doing it for like a paycheck or like for clout or just like for vibes or whatever, that always is more annoying, because one, we don't know what we want, or we're just expecting, something to come out of it when that's not, like, you can't give me, X and expect me to give you Y. Like, that's just not how that works. So,
So to kind of sum up you as a musician and a songwriter, you are very much focused on the art itself. Not that obviously the paycheck is nice, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But that wouldn't change whether or not you did it.
Like getting paid when it matter if I got it, or
essentially, yeah. So the money to you, or well, I guess everything outside of creating music to you is just extra.
Yeah, it's just extra. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I definitely want to get paid.
Of course.
Definitely need my money. I mean, if you see anything that I post on social media, I'm always ranting about like why Spotify is just like, you know what I mean. So, But I do think that there is a very real conversation to have with like songwriters and especially songwriters and producers and not getting paid enough or just like anything at all, and just our whole system with like royalties is entirely messed up. But aside from that, like if money was not a thing and I didn't have to worry about that, then like no, like it wouldn't be about the money at all. It's just art.
Yeah, I'm sure we could have a whole other discussion
That's a
about
whole, yeah.
the nuances and the
Yeah.
wonderful thing about signing contracts
Mhm.
and what that entails.
Yeah.
We'll save that for another day. So when songwriting for other people, what are some of the most rewarding things that you've experienced?
Seeing people's reaction when like the song is done, and being able to be a part of the journey of having their artistic vision completed, I think is really rewarding. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, just seeing what starts off as like a little voice note or something, and then like having it as like a fully fleshed out song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always cool.
Watching it grow up.
Yeah, I mean, essentially.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool.
It's kind of like I mean, exactly that. It's, a music baby. Like, you're creating something at that point. It's not even like an idea anymore. It's there.
You're like, I raised that.
Yeah. That's exactly how it feels.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean, it shows obviously, you know that you have to send it off to college in the future, but, obviously you care enough to where it's something that when it's done, you're proud of it. Bubbles. This is the first time I've ever featured Bubbles on my podcast.
Yeah?
Yeah. And Marcus Saint.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 2-for-1.
It is a 2-for-1. Everybody loves Bubbles, and everybody loves
Everybody
Marcus Saint.
loves Marcus Saint. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now I have a very terrible question for you.
Okay.
AI. So with AI, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that it's like do you think it's good, it's bad for the music industry? What do you think about AI? Specifically relating to music.
I mean, I think that like I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's like good either. I think that as long as you are still creative and still thinking on your own and still doing what you here's the thing with new innovations, right? So like, you can have this conversation about how like autotune was like back in like the late 90s, early 2000s, where everybody was like, oh, this killed music, no one can sing anymore, this is like the worst thing, like, and it was still automatically doing it for everybody, changing all the effects and everything. And you had like a string of people who absolutely hated it, but then you had people like Kanye and like T-Pain and Cher who did a really, really good, amazing thing with it. I don't know that we're at that innovative, groundbreaking point with AI right now with music. I don't know what that would even look like or what that would sound like, but I'm sure that somebody somewhere can find a way to use it in a creative way that'll still make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as people just throwing in a prompt and then having a song being created, I absolutely hate that.
Yeah.
I think it takes all the creative part out of it. I think it takes all the fun out of it. I don't think that there's any realness to it at all. I was just in an Uber like maybe about like a month ago now, and the dude was like playing the song, and it sounded so nice. So it's not even the thing of like, can it sound good, because it does. But he was like, oh, I created it entirely out of AI. And then Timbaland actually dropped a song not too long ago, which I love that song. It was so dope. And when I tried to look up more of like the artists who did it, like I found out that it wasn't even a real person. It was all AI, and it was just like, dang, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I think when it gets to the parts of like soul, like when it comes to music, I think that's really hard to replicate. But again, I mean, like, you could have that conversation with like so many other parts of music that we have.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I was gonna say something else in relation to, but I think also like from a business perspective, it kind of makes me nervous, because it's like, okay, like, are you even going to hire me to do anything anymore? Because like from that, like, you don't have to worry about from like a label perspective, I don't have to worry about ever giving you your money at all. Like, I own everything that you're doing. I own your rights. I own all this stuff. I'm recouping everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's a lot of thoughts that I have. It. I think right now it's more cons than pros.
So AI,
Hmm.
would that ever stop you from doing music or being creative?
No.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Mhm.
So, how do you stay encouraged through the rough points? Maybe if you have no ideas, or if you're
Mhm.
just not feeling it, you're feeling discouraged, you're in your own head. How do you make it through those?
Mm, if I don't have any ideas or I'm just not like inspired or anything, I just won't work on it. Anything. I try to still make myself write something, rather if it's like a verse or like, and they'll be like the worst songs you'll ever hear in your entire life. But I'll still do something just because it's like a muscle. Like if you don't work out, like you eventually lose like your muscle. So it's the same kind of thing. So I'll still make myself do something. I just know that they don't have any substance to it, but
Yeah.
I'll just keep the idea going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you still continue to like go about your normal.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
go about my normal day. Like I'll go like 2 or 3 days without working on anything at all, and it's well, actually that's a lie. I'll probably go like a day without working on anything at
Mhm.
all. But yeah, I don't believe in forcing art.
Yeah. One of the philosophies that I've sort of adapted as well is I think it's important to continue to live,
Mm-hmm.
continue to do the things you enjoy, because it also gives you stuff to talk about and stuff to write about, right?
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
going on trips, going and living your life as a normal person, but also, doing the things you enjoy. Like,
Mhm.
I really enjoy skateboarding.
Yeah.
But, you meet people, you get to have these interactions that you might be able to use in your art. I mean,
Mhm.
obviously, that's not like always necessarily the purpose of it,
Mhm.
but I think that creating art is just as important as living your life.
Yeah, I think it's just as important. Sometimes I feel like it's more, but
You feel like what's more important?
creating art.
Yeah.
But yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think that, well, at least for me, because
Yeah.
a lot of art that I like to create is based off of, things that happen in life.
Yeah.
Especially with like music and things like that.
Mhm.
A lot of times you're writing based off of your own experiences, or you're relating to music because something has happened to you that makes you feel connected to that song or
Yeah.
that music video or whatnot. So I
Mhm.
think that as much as creating art is important, I think it's still good to have those experiences.
Yeah.
Have you ever had writer's block?
Yes, and it is the worst thing in the entire world.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get over it, or do you even try to do anything?
I don't know. I haven't had writer's block in a really, really long time. But I haven't had it in a really long time. I think like honestly, since like one, my writing style has changed. That's helped. Also, like I used to not write about things that I've experienced either, but like that all has changed within the last year. And so I think since that, I haven't really had writer's block. Um, Especially now with like my whole mindset of just like not forcing anything at all either. I think that's also eliminated the chance of me having writer's block because I'm not forcing myself to write anything.
Yeah.
I think with like writer's block, a lot of it was not really that I couldn't write or that I couldn't do something, but more so the fear of doing something, like the fear of making a bad song or the fear of like releasing something and it's not being received the way that I want it to be, or not, just like many different things. So I don't think like my writer's block was ever because I couldn't physically do it.
Yeah.
So I think once I kind of like realized where like my mental was with it, it stopped.
Yeah.
But yeah.
That's really interesting. You mentioned how you shouldn't be afraid to make a bad song or something like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of been like something that's been difficult for me is like,
Mhm.
everything, especially as a musician, everything needs to be perfect, right?
Yeah. I do agree. I think that's I was in like a creative writing class like years ago in like high school.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that like my teacher had like said always stuck with me though, and it was about writing with like your poetry or your stories or your scripts, whatever it was that we were working on class that day. And it was about like the madman. It was like I forget what the actual like thing is called, but basically you have the madman, the judge, and then the there's a third one. Anyways, but it's basically like your first step is not even worrying about like structure or anything that you're supposed to be like the perfection of it. You're just getting all your ideas out. You're just writing everything. So that's the madman. You just let him go crazy. You just let him do whatever it is that you need to do. So in the case of like songwriting, that's when I'm doing my top lines. I'm writing like 3 or 4 verses. I'm not really caring about like what I'm caring about it, but I'm just getting all my ideas out.
Yeah.
And then the judge comes in. It's like, okay, well, like this doesn't really sound good, or the idea was almost there, or this is perfect. Let's do more of this, and then it just goes in that way.
I see. That's a really interesting way to think about it.
Yeah.
Especially kind of separating the, because I think for me, what can be kind of difficult is, you know, you're looking to this end goal of having a fully produced song, which is kind of a long process. So, you know, I think breaking it down like that and saying, we're just going to let whatever we have here fly, and then we'll come back and we'll work it out.
Yeah, you have to go through the idea just for the sake of going through the idea. Again, though, like there's different people who do it differently. Like I know some artists who will do the idea and they'll finish the whole entire song with that idea, and then they'll toss it. That's not how I work though. So I'll do like an idea, and if I'm just not feeling the idea right now, I won't delete it. I'll just save it, and then like I'll go back to it like months later, and maybe even a year later. I'm like, oh, this is a pretty cool idea. Let me finish this. So I mean, you know, but I do think it's important just to do it, just to do it. You never know.
Yeah, you really have to try not to be your own worst enemy, right?
Yeah, you can't be your worst critic. I think also like right now too with social media, just with everyone highlighting like the bits and pieces of how they make art, you don't really see a lot of people with the behind the scenes of like what doesn't work. So I think it does kind of change our mentality of like how fast things happen, or you know, you'll always hear someone talk about like Sia, like how she wrote Diamonds for Rihanna in like 14 minutes, but you'll never hear, or I shouldn't say you'll never, but it's rare to ever hear a songwriter talk about how it took them a year to write like the most basic pop song ever. So I think like having more of those conversations from an artist perspective, I think does better for like us as artists, because we're like, okay, like it's okay to take our time on this.
I think too, looking at it from like a performance standpoint as well, it can be hard to, you know, like releasing an album is such a huge undertaking too. Like, you know, like I think that's why a lot of people do EPs, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. I think that, you know, having that quality of what really represents you and your style is very important.
Yeah.
Do you have any plans that you'd like to share, or are you moving anywhere in the future?
No, I mean, right now I'm trying to work on my project, but that's all. I don't think there's anything else that I'm like, I think that's really what I'm laser focused on right now. I've also been working on a soundtrack and like scoring for like my first like short film that I'm working with Terrell, which is pretty cool. Shout out to Terrell. But yeah, so like that's been really cool, like working on that. But that's it.
What is the project that you're working on?
I'm working on an EP.
Oh.
Yeah, that I've been working on for the past ever, but now I'm officially working on it.
Is Please Cancel gonna be on there?
I want it to be, but I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Depends on the direction.
Yeah, I mean, like it. My project's a club record, so it's like an ode to like club music and club culture, and just what that looks like. Not necessarily just like all about like, you know, being on the dance floor, but just like everything that comes with it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like where Please Cancel came from, was just an experience that I've had like going out and in a very insecure, like depressive episode that I had, and where it was like, okay, like I don't even want to be here anymore. I don't want to hang out with you. Like it's not that I don't want to hang out with that person, but it was just like, why do you even want to be my friend? I feel like we're only friends because we have a mutual friend. I don't feel like this now, but like in the moment, you know, and it was just like we go there and you're so much cooler than I am. You have like, like the shades, you got the better outfit, you got like all the friends, like all the attention's on you, and it's not that it has to be on me either, but it was just like, dude, like what am I even doing here? Like,
Yeah.
cancel our plans, like please, for like my sake, because I don't want to be the one to cancel, so like I want you to cancel on me, like, and it has nothing to do with like this person, this is just like where I'm at.
Yeah.
And so I feel like because like story wise it still has something to do with like very real moments in like parties and clubs and like etc. I think that it does make sense to be on the project, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's neat. I didn't know that. I knew what the song was like roughly about.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you sharing that story because now I can listen to it with a slightly different lens. That's super cool.
That song actually wasn't even supposed to come out. It was just me venting. One of those instances where it was just I write every day. So if you're ever friends with a songwriter, 9 times out of 10 they have a song about you somewhere, maybe. And that's like all it was I just had my notebook and I had this beat. I didn't even like play it out on my piano. I found like a vocal chop that I had and just like chopped everything up together and was like, I just need something just enough to get this idea across. Yeah. And I love hyperpop music and I think it was really, really cool. So I got like these hyperpop drums on like this like super sad little melody to make it not sound as sad. And I was having a really, really rough day like the next day, just like still dealing with the aftermath of like this wave of emotions. And I just wrote on my notebook exactly how I was feeling. I was like, I'm feeling like a candle. I'm still lit, but I'm bound to burn out. I was hoping that you would cancel. I don't want to go out. And that's just how it came out. And then like literally everyone that I played the song for, I was like, oh, this is like my song of the day. Because I have like 3 or 4 friends that I'll send like what it is that I do every single day. Yeah. And I sent that song to everyone. And literally every person that I like sent it to was like, oh, 1, who is this for? Because you have to keep it. And then 2 was like, where's rest? Because there's only the verse, nothing else. I was like, okay, well, I guess I gotta finish it.
Yeah, that's cool. So, that's really cool.
And even that I didn't finish until like 6 months later. So.
Yeah. That's how it goes. Pretty much with anything creative.
Yeah, I mean that was like I didn't even want to write to it. I thought that I had said everything that I wanted to, and everything I felt was on that first verse. So I didn't think I needed to, which is why the second verse I'm kind of coming in on like a different energy because it was more of the aftermath. It was no longer me in the moment. It was more of like reflecting of how I felt. So
that's neat.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, of course. It's always fun getting into the deeper, nerdier parts of the music. I can talk about that forever.
Yeah.
So.
Is there any other songs that you have that are like a story that I don't know? Do you have any other songs that you wrote that are kind of this story that you just kind of were venting that you needed to get out?
Not that are out, but I mean, again, I think that honestly, I think my writing style has changed so much in the last year that I don't even think I was a good songwriter until last year. And I think that's like where everything changed. One, me actually like writing down like we talked about earlier, but I think also just pulling like actual stories out of me. And so I've lived like 9 lives. If anyone knows my personal life, it was a crazy adventure roller coaster. But I think pulling out those and actually being intentional with storytelling has definitely changed significantly in the last year or 2. So yeah, nothing that's out at the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So you said something really interesting in there that caught my attention. So you said you didn't feel like you were a good songwriter up until last year.
Yeah, I would say last year or the year before.
How long have you been writing music?
Seriously, since I was like 16, 17, but I mean, since I was like 5, realistically, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really interesting because I think it seems like music and songwriting tends to be something that just sort of happens and it's just right there. Like suddenly this person is right where they should be at the right time and they blow up, right?
Yeah.
But really it's a long process, isn't it? It's a long process to really master your art.
Yeah, I mean, I think it like depends on, who you are. I think for me, like, yes, I don't think that I was a good songwriter until recently. Not that I wasn't a good writer before, but I think like there's so much more to the art now than what it was. I think I learned a lot of the technicalities and like what makes a song a good song early on. But I think now it's like, okay, now all that is so deep rooted into my brain. I know that like the back of my head, like now it's just like, okay, well, now I just want to make something.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And that's kind of where the idea of just writing and just putting the stuff out and just song after song, just doing it has benefited you, because you had to release those songs that maybe you're not super proud of, or maybe that you don't love.
Yeah.
To get to the point where you're putting out stuff where you're saying, I've been doing this for so long and now I'm so proud of this, and this is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, like I think Please Cancel is probably the first song that I have done that I haven't like cringed at hearing it. So yeah, it's
not easy. I mean, even with this podcast, it's, you know, looking back at my first episode and how I was and how I've progressed. I mean, it's a process, but it's once you sort of learn that and understand what a process is, it's a beautiful thing, because you get how much better at it.
I agree.
Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Of course.
So as an artist or musician, oftentimes we think about legacy or the impact that we have on other people, right? So writing about things that are sometimes personal.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that you're interested in keeping as a legacy, or the impact that you have with your music?
In what way?
So, how do you want to be remembered? How do you want your art to be remembered?
That's a good question. I don't think I've ever thought about that too hard. I think as long as like I'm able to create and tell the best story possible that I'm able to, because there's so many people that I look up to that don't get a chance to do like a second or third album. They only get to do like their one. I think that's really all that I've ever thought about doing. Is just as long as I get to tell my story on like my first one and have someone be able to relate to it. But also more importantly, I think that like, you know, going back into, you know, the whole calling of my life and everything, I think as long as God has his purpose with me and I'm able to be a vessel and like do whatever it is I need to do just for that moment, rather it's working for other people or if it's doing my own project, then I think that's totally fine with me. As far as being remembered, I don't think that that's something I've ever really took into consideration. I would love that, don't get me wrong, but like I don't think that's anything I've ever thought of.
Yeah. Something that maybe down the line would be... Maybe.
I mean, it would be cool. I think, would love to, of course, like change, like sonically what we're hearing with like pop music or just like genres specifically anywhere. I think that would be cool. I mean, like later down the line, you know, like God willing, if I get, you know, like a budget and everything, I would love to be able to have my own like production label of some sort, to bring on like, you know, other songwriters or just other talent and stuff. I think would be cool. But I mean,
that'd be really cool. I think that's important, kind of lifting other people up.
And even as things like aside from music, like I told you, I do want to get into, you know, like music video directing and, you know, like all that kind of stuff. So I think like those things would be cool. But
the world is your oyster, you know. You can do whatever you want.
You know, you can.
Do you like oysters?
A crazy world. I do like oysters.
I do too.
Oysters are really good. I love seafood.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because if not, that analogy wouldn't...
No, I love seafood.
Wouldn't float very well.
Yeah.
You get that? Yeah.
That was a very dad joke of you, but yes.
Thank you. So, where can people go to find your music or the things that you produce?
Everywhere. Apple Music, Spotify, preferably stream my music on Apple Music, SoundCloud, all your major places. All my socials are Marcus Saint with 2 T's.
Yes. Marcus Saint, one word, right?
Yeah, all one word. So just make sure you have the 2 T's at the end. But
you're so lucky you got to do that. Oh, well, is it because you put the 2 T's at the end?
Yeah,
That's
because
why.
someone else had Marcus Saint, and it's the
Oh,
same
okay.
guy who has an account on like everything,
I see.
and he's not active on social media, so there's no way of like contacting him and being like, hey, like,
Can you take it out?
can we switch? There is no doing that.
Yeah.
So it just has the 2 T's. But I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, when you type in Marcus Saint, I'm the first person to pop up anyway, so
Yeah.
it doesn't bother me too much. But you know,
Yeah. You're just
Yeah.
popular like that.
I mean, you know.
So, one more question for you. I like to ask this to a lot of people. What is one piece of advice that you have for someone who's maybe struggling to get into the creative scene, or is struggling with their music, or is just feeling discouraged? What is one thing that you want to tell these people?
Make sure it's something you actually want to do and not something you're doing just because you want like clout or you want money. Because I can tell you now, like songwriters do not get paid well. The same thing with like producers and just artists in general. Like the money is not like where you think it is. And the same thing with clout. I mean, like so many things come with like popularity. So it really just depends on like what you want to do. And if that is your avenue, like what you want, and it's not just like the music aspect and creating it for the art, there's so many other ways that you could still achieve those things. Probably faster and better, honestly. But yeah.
Yeah.
Just make sure it's what you want to do.
Really love what you do.
Yeah, I love what you do. I think that's my advice. Yeah.
It's good.
Hmm.
It's honestly the perfect answer and almost exactly what I thought you would say.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
That shows kind of the person that you are and
Mhm.
your character. You know, I think that you embody a very good spirit
Thank
of
you.
the creative identity.
Mhm.
You know, doing it for the love of it and
Yeah.
wanting to change it for the better.
Yeah.
That's good. Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Of course.
It was a good conversation.
It was a good conversation.